in order to punish my husband for not answering the phone for 3 days. I mercilessly abandoned the child in my belly. I thought I had control over the absolute right to speak. But one never knows whether this selfishness will ultimately lead to something good. The son lost both legs in the heavy rain. And I also went completely crazy. That one that pushed our family forward. The starting point of the abyss, where nothing can be restored after countless ages have passed. It's just another ordinary night at this time of day. My husband's mother passed away suddenly. He had red eyes. I was packing my things, with my hands trembling due to nervousness. I'm ready to return to my hometown tonight for the funeral. And I'm wearing a comfortable pajama, holding the pregnant belly that's only 3 months old with both hands, with hands crossed over the chest. The indifferent person stood at the door, blocking the way. My husband-in-law stands outside the door, with tears streaming down his face. It's a plea that seems almost humble, deep down. My child. Dad, please. Let him go back and kowtow to his mother. Let's finish this last leg together. Watching my father-in-law in such a humble state, I don't feel even a trace of sympathy at all. Instead, a sense of disgust and resentment that had been accumulating for a long time resurfaces. 8 years married. My in-laws have always been cold and distant towards me. I wonder if you ever really considered me as part of your family. Now I am pregnant. Why should it be for your family? The funeral ceremonies have affected both my own aura and that of the fetus. Moreover, they have been married for 8 years already. My husband obeys me completely. As long as I get angry or shed tears, every time he always admits his mistakes and apologizes to me. I'm used to being in a position of superiority in this house. It also made him sure that he wouldn't dare disobey me. I pressed myself tightly against the door frame. I've laid out my most impregnable hand in the game. Dad, you shouldn't enter the room at all. I am pregnant at this time. It's not appropriate to bring bad luck during such solemn occasions. My body is already weak by nature. Who is responsible when something goes wrong? When has your family ever thought about me? Watch some great videos. It's even better with a new phone. Oh, this time it's not just a round trip. It's much easier to use tap 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 for finding games. The range of products is extremely comprehensive. Small to leisure and entertainment-related items, big enough to be an open world. It's even a standalone work of fiction. The buyout system works well. Everything in the two-dimensional world exists indeed. In short, I recommend using TapTap for playing games. My husband's eyes were filled with despair and anger. Hysterical screams. That was my mother. I didn't care at all about her breakdown. Smiling coldly and threatening. You dare to leave this door today? I'll make sure that you won't even see the child in your belly. I thought I used the child as a weapon to kill those people. I've managed to exploit this man's weaknesses. But I didn't realize it at all. Those cold and ruthless words of mine. It became something that further crushed that already sad situation. The last straw for an overly elderly person. The man outside the door looked at me with a cold expression in his eyes. With all hope lost, I turned around and left. Just a few hours later, the phone rang again. I was awakened by a lot of noise, and I cursed loudly, clearly frustrated. What are they shouting in the middle of the night? I need to rest since I am pregnant. And on the other end of the phone, my husband is like a zombie whose soul has been drained away. He trembled and managed to say a few words to me. My father passed away due to severe heart failure. He went to stay with my mother. All of a sudden, my parents were gone overnight. There was a moment of panic in my heart, but it was quickly overshadowed by that twisted sense of pride. I don't feel any guilt. The first reaction in my mind is still, I carry your child in my heart. Did you even think about me when you yelled at me just now? I just want you to take care of our little family first. My husband finally went back to his hometown to handle the funeral arrangements. 3 whole days. He didn't answer my call. I haven't received any responses from them. during these 3 terrifyingly quiet days. I have a severe lack of confidence in myself. I'm lost in a state of wild imagination. Does he no longer love me anymore? Is he trying to move on from his deceased parents? The entire blame can be placed upon me. How can he dare to ignore me for so long? In my twisted logic, even if the sky falls down, it still doesn't matter. It's really serious that my husband has gone beyond my control. In the past, whenever I got angry, he rushed over to me trying to apologize. This time, the extreme anxiety and anger were truly overwhelming. I completely lost my sanity. I went to the hospital. While lying on the operating table, my hands are shaking constantly. My mind is completely blank. Even my own mother was so scared that she turned pale when she asked me questions. Are you crazy? Do you really think it through? I didn't answer. The moment of signing, I thought I was just trying to make up for my anger. It's making him suffer. The painkillers are coming in. When consciousness becomes gradually blurred, it seems that there's also a void in some part of my heart. I didn't experience the expected sense of revengeful satisfaction. There's only one kind of panic that cannot be expressed in words. It's poured into the chest like ice water, but I still did that thing anyway. When my husband finishes handling the funeral arrangements for my parents, when returning home full of exhaustion and pain, I watched his haggard face. A feeling of tightness in the throat. It took almost an entire minute to say those words with a light, casual tone. The child is gone. As soon as the words were spoken, I regretted it right away. Those 2 words felt like stones hitting the ground directly. It also hits my own heart directly. My husband stared at me in disbelief. Both eyes are red. Let out a cry of despair. Mom and Dad just left. You can punish me with the child, right? That too is our child, isn't it? Watching him collapse in an instant. It seemed like my eyes were about to burst from their sockets. The little bit of luck that remained in my heart has completely disappeared. I opened my mouth, trying to argue with them. I want to say that I didn't do it on purpose. I also feel regretful about this. But when the words reach my mouth, they turn into nothingness. I even find my own words to be harsh and unpleasant. Who told you not to answer my calls for 3 days? I just want you to care about me once. Did I do something wrong? Just as I finished speaking, I was stunned for a moment. What am I saying? A living life. I still wonder who is right and who is wrong. My husband is looking at me. That love that was once there has completely turned to ashes. I thought life could continue as usual. Until the arrival of that heavy rain. The button for destruction was pressed completely. My husband is on a business trip away. I made sure to remind me to do so before going out in the morning. Anyway, I need to go to pick them up today. The 8-year-old eldest son comes home from school. I also simply replied with understood. But in the afternoon, it was raining heavily. I am sitting in the noisy tea room right now. I was having a great conversation with my friend. Immersed in complaints and venting about one's own marriage situation, the son's homeroom teacher called me. Liu Ming's mother. It's raining heavily right now. There are too many people at the school gate. There's no one available to pick up the child yet. I was in the middle of talking about this topic at that time. Don't want to be disturbed at all. I found the noise at the other end of the line too loud. He shouted in frustration. I can't hear clearly about the matters related to the school. Please go and ask his father about it. Then the phone was hung up immediately. I used to use a phrase that was hard to hear clearly. With a sense of satisfaction, I continued to chat with friends in their leisure time. A few hours later, the emergency number from the hospital has called. I really started to panic right then. My own child, who's only 8 years old, in the heavy rain. I walked across the street alone to find my mother. I had a serious car accident. It was already too late when they arrived at the hospital. His legs suffered irreversible damage. Have permanently lost the ability to walk. Outside the door of the intensive care unit, his gaze was cold as if he were looking at a vicious monster. I don't hear clearly, Or maybe I just don't want to listen at all. He questioned me with despair in his voice. I told you about this in the morning. I can't make it back in time. He is only 8 years old. A person crossing the road in the heavy rain. Can't you just use this opportunity instead? Facing the harsh reality. I opened my mouth. That phrase. I didn't mean to get it stuck in my throat on purpose. But I can't say it out loud anymore. It's not intentional anyway, so what does it matter? The child's legs are no longer present. It's not something that can be easily fixed with a little effort. My husband closed his eyes in despair. Tears dried up on the cheeks. We got divorced. I was completely panicked, tugging at his sleeve in a pleading manner. We are still young. I will take good care of you and your child in the future. Can we make up for it somehow? It's not a broken toy at all. It's not something that can be restored just by trying to fix it again. My husband suddenly pulled his hand away from mine. These years of selfishness from me. The true identity was completely exposed and destroyed. I have spoiled you for 8 years. You've been spoiled to the point of becoming a person without any boundaries at all. I was so indulgent that my mother didn't get to see me one last time before she left. I treated him so badly that he stood there outside, too afraid to enter. We spoiled our second child too much. The spoiled big baby now has neither legs left. It's all because of my indulgence and your selfishness. Stay away from me and my child. This is your last attempt to make up for it. When he signed the divorce agreement. As he turned away with a decisive gesture, I sat down in the cold, icy hospital hallway, completely exhausted. I finally succeeded in winning all the battles against critics. But he destroyed this family with his own hands. Ruined the son's entire life. I finally understand. There's never really a golden ticket to immunity in marriage. Don't regard your partner's concessions as something you can squander without any sense of responsibility. And definitely not in the most extreme ways. To challenge the limits of human nature. Do you really think that you are punishing others? In fact, every cut ends up going through something. On the person I care about the most. This is the truth. I used 2 lives. A pair of children's legs. Only when a complete home is achieved. The cost is too high. It's so much that I won't be able to pay it off in the rest of my life. If you are listening to this story, please don't be like me. Don't wait until you have lost everything. I just learned how to appreciate things properly. Now I sit alone in this empty room. I hold that damaged family photo in my hands. It's still raining heavily outside the window. It seems like the sound of my son's voice will always echo in my ears. The cries of despair after losing one's health. I will bear the heavy sins and loneliness of my past, spending the rest of my life in regrets that can never be washed away. All of this is my own fault. I deserve this situation. In order to marry my first love, I used the excuse of buying a property in a desirable school district. Deceived one's wife and left the household without any assets. As a result, my annual income dropped to 30 million. The boss now became a poor man with millions in debt. And all of this is my own fault. Deserved punishment. My name is Lu Yuan, operating as a building materials trading company. Annual profit, 30 million. My wife 𝓱𝓬 is very knowledgeable in financial affairs and business operations. With great effort, he managed to get that lump of company stuff into one hand. The messy accounts had been properly organized, with no mistakes found at all. Back then, in order to help me get the championship in the city, the largest clients of the construction group, she, as a woman, works alongside clients to continuously refine and improve their plans. Coughing until there is stomach bleeding, sent to the hospital. At that time, he was lying in the hospital bed. With a pale face, he said to me, "As long as Lu Yuan can manage the company effectively, everything will be fine. No matter how much hardship I endure, it's worth it." Once men have some savings in their hands, that greed deep within us, vanity can no longer be suppressed at all. Watching 𝓱𝓬, who never wears any makeup at all, whether it's mentioned or not, Everything relates to financial reports and capital turnover. All I feel is annoyance in my heart. He's becoming more and more like someone who's sitting in negotiations. The partner who is rigid and fixed in their ways, sitting opposite me at the table. Not a trace of it can be found anywhere on the body. It belongs to the charm and tenderness that only women possess. It was during a time when my life was going smoothly. The once beautiful and charming woman has returned. On the day of the reunion with classmates, she was wearing a long dress in light white color. With red eyes, he cried out about all the hardships he had endured over the years. She said that she couldn't control herself back then. Many years have passed. What's in my heart is always me. His eyes were filled with dependence and admiration towards me. That kind of idolatrous vanity. In an instant, my rationality was destroyed. She cried, saying that she didn't want any status or recognition. I just want to stay by your side. The more humble she became, I feel like I owe them something. I swear that I will never treat my first love unfairly. But at the same time, it's extremely selfish. Extremely reluctant to allocate any part of the assets to my spouse. Under the pretext of buying a house in an upscale neighborhood for their daughter, I have set up a system for 𝓱𝓻, who helped me build something from scratch. It was a completely hopeless situation. That night, I looked worried and tried to comfort 𝓱𝓻. In order to buy houses in school districts, they break the housing restrictions. We have to go through a fake divorce. The assets and equity will be transferred to my name first. You can leave the company immediately and take up the available slot. I will get remarried right after buying this. I saw him staring at me with a skeptical expression, asking about the equity issue. I immediately shouted with red eyes. They have been married for 8 years. I do everything for my daughter. You don't even trust me at all. 𝓱𝓻 trusted me too much. She never imagined that she would be sleeping in the same bed with him for 8 years. The person beside me really has a clever way of thinking. After completing the procedures at the Civil Affairs Bureau, on the afternoon of the day when the transfer procedures were completed, I watched as it was written in my hands. All the assets related to my name as a single individual. There was even a sense of vulgar joy stirring within me. The third day after obtaining the certificate, I asked the security personnel to take care of 𝓱𝓻. All clothes were packed up and thrown away. She has completely lost all her access rights to the company's security systems. 𝓱𝓻 wasn't hysterical at all. She just stood downstairs from the company and made a call for me.
That day,
he casually handed a thick bag of brown paper to the security guard. Please leave it to me. 𝓱𝓻's voice over the phone was terrifyingly calm. In the paper bag, there are all the documents related to Jiangong Group over the past 3 years. Suppliers, hidden accounts, and contact information list. There is also a guide for customer maintenance purposes. You have just taken over the core business. Be sure not to step on any S. A relationship between husband and wife. I'll give you one last piece of advice. Don't do anything that will make you regret later. I was holding that plastic bag in my hand at that time. It seems purely ridiculous and mocking. I think that's his way of refusing to give up. It's he who is trying to show me his weakness, to prove his value. In front of all the employees in the office, with a cold smile, he carried that heavy burden away. The transferred files were simply thrown into the shredder. Spoke to the phone in a cold voice. 𝓱𝓻, please stop acting now. We can't go back anymore. You're too assertive. Working under the same roof as you, I can't breathe at all every day. 𝓵𝓵 is the true love of my life. The agreement clearly states that you will be separated from the case without any complications. Stop using these useless things to create any kind of presence at all. There was a dead silence on the other end of the phone. After a long time, 𝓱𝓻 said only one sentence. Lu Yuan, remember today, don't regret it later. At that time, I simply felt that getting rid of it was the best option. I carried a heavy burden with me. I can't wait to welcome 𝓵𝓵 into the door. Received the marriage certificate. I fantasize about living a life of happiness and love from now on. But reality came much faster than I expected. There are also many of them. It has been 1 month since I received the certificate. 𝓵 completely torn off her gentle and innocent mask. She doesn't cook or clean anything. Sleep until noon every day. I will go to the mall to buy luxury goods this afternoon. The bills from various banks are arriving one after another, like snowflakes falling from the sky. Just 2 months. She used up several of my high-value credit cards in just one transaction. Spent more than 1 million in waste. I tried to persuade him to be more careful with his spending. He immediately started to throw himself around the ground in a chaotic manner. What kind of man are you, 𝓕𝓸𝓻𝓬𝓷𝓮𝓷𝓭𝓪? They said they wanted to make up for it in the beginning. How little time has passed yet. You think I'm spending too much money, don't you? Do you still think about that ugly woman in your heart? I'll spend just this little amount of money with you. You're going to try to deceive me, aren't you? I was completely helpless against his control over me. I have to go through with paying the bill for him. Immediately afterwards, his younger brother, who just sits around doing nothing all day long, is getting married soon. 𝓵 pressured me to give him this thing. I've bought a house in the city center with full payment. I don't have enough funds to cover these expenses. Reject on the spot. She simply brought her parents over with her, falling over plates and bowls at home. Scold me as a heartless liar. The problems at home still haven't been resolved yet. A fire completely destroyed the company's backyard. Because I personally torn it to pieces. The documents left by 𝓱𝓮 for handling after her departure. The supply chain was adjusted blindly. This led to the shipment of a batch of materials to the construction group. All core building materials have defects of some kind. Directly caused delays in the project. The senior management of the construction group is furious. A letter was sent to terminate all cooperation efforts. And they demanded a huge penalty fee from me. What made me even more desperate was the construction group immediately announced the decision. All those subsequent massive projects involving billions of dollars each will be handled accordingly. The entire process was handled by another benchmarking company in the industry. And that company's new employee. The vice president in charge of operations is 𝓱𝓮. What the customer has trusted from beginning to end. They're all just a golden sign created by 𝓱𝓮. It's not at all the person I am, 𝓕𝓸𝓻. Termination of contracts with key clients. The supplier came to your door and tried to force their way in to collect the payment. Loan repayment deadline approaching. However, what completely pushed me into the abyss of eternal destruction? It was a rainy weekend afternoon, with heavy rain falling all day. That night, I got home after getting drunk. As soon as I stepped out of the elevator, I noticed the security door was locked. A large crack was created by using a crowbar to break through the surface. The room is filled with a foul, unpleasant smell. A person covered in tattoos. A man who reeks of alcohol. Legs placed high on the coffee table. There was also a dirty child standing beside me. 𝓵 huddled in the corner of the wall, pale as a ghost. I trembled all over like dust being shaken off by the wind. I picked up the umbrella at the door and yelled, "Who are you?" Breaking into private homes. I will call the police immediately. The person slowly exhales circles of smoke. Suddenly, a sinister smile appeared on his face. He suddenly pulled out a yellowed birth certificate. The proof is placed on the coffee table, along with a pile of IOUs. He stood up, patted my face, and smirked. "Reported to the authorities, please." Although I and 𝓵 haven't obtained any official certificates yet. But there have been cases where banquets have been organized. This is his own son. I just got out of prison, and I have no money to spend. I heard that he found a poor person who deserves to be treated unfairly. He came here specifically with his son to seek your help. A thunderclap exploded in my mind. When they meet again, they keep saying that they are still single and unmarried. I didn't know that I had a son during my first love period. I rushed forward like a madman, grabbing her by the arms and questioning her closely. But she was so scared that she trembled with fear. Cried right behind the man, hiding him from sight. The man easily threw me to the ground. Said it with a sly smile. Since Boss Lu really insists on being the person who takes over the project, then let's go all out. Please transfer 30,000 per month as child support in the future. Let's raise this son again. Say just one word at a time. I will immediately send people to your company and near your house to hang banners there. Those who spread your secrets are known to everyone. At that moment, all the blood in my body became completely cold. A terrible feeling in the stomach, like being in chaos and turmoil. I've thought of everything. The so-called true love that was gained by abandoning one's wife and children. Just an illusion. It isn't even remotely a true love at all. It's just someone who carries a huge amount of debt behind them. Concealing history of marriage and childbirth. Treat me like a stepping stone, or like a bottomless abyss where money can be withdrawn easily. I called the police, but the other party insisted that it was indeed the case. Family disputes and disputes over child support. The police officers were also unable to mediate the situation. The next half month, that scoundrel keeps bringing people to my company to cause trouble every day. When she blocked the door, 𝓲𝓻 saw that I really had no money at all. Terrible reputation. They stole all that was left in the house overnight. All cash and gold argent jewelry. Completely disappeared from the world, due to inability to pay the huge penalties and debts related to the purchase price. My company has declared bankruptcy and is undergoing liquidation. Properties and vehicles under my name. Everything has been seized and put up for auction by the court. The afternoon when the house was sealed with a tag. It was raining heavily outside. I'm carrying the only remaining broken suitcase. Walking on the muddy streets like a homeless dog. All that's left in my pocket is enough money to buy just one bowl of noodles. As we passed by that most bustling office building in the city center, I saw 𝓱𝓭. She wore a very stylish and sophisticated suit, with a calm and elegant appearance. I was smiling happily with the construction group. The chairman shook hands and exchanged words with the other party. She exudes a sense of strength and power. Independent and dazzling light. That was the time when I was with you for 8 years. The light is obscured by the needs of daily life, cooking, cleaning, etc. She got into a black executive car. The moment when the window slowly rises. Her gaze passed through the glass. A faint breeze swept through the rain, drenching everyone standing in the rain. I, with that broken box in my hands. No resentment at all. There is no sarcasm at all. Not even a hint of satisfaction from revenge at all. It's a kind of sighting of dead leaves by the roadside. It seems like ordinary trash to us. Completely indifferent and unresponsive. Then the car disappeared into the distance. It splattered cold mud all over me. I knelt down in the mud and water. I remember the time when I threw it into the abyss with my own hands. That stack of forms from the shredder machine. I still remember the lost words he left me with. Remember this. I pounded my hands against the ground repeatedly, wailing loudly. Rainwater, mixed with tears, flows into the mouth. It tastes a bit salty and astringent. But inside, the pain is so intense that it feels like swallowing bitter herbs. I think I'm quite smart, don't I? Treat one's wife who shares joys and sorrows as nothing more than that. A burden that can be discarded at any time. Get rid of those scheming, vain people, perceiving things as what they are called true love. Who would willingly share the hardships with you? One that leaves you with a chance to back out from. Women are the only feng shui elements in your life. When you resort to any means to manipulate people's sincerity, destiny has already prepared the most despairing outcome for you. Family destroyed. Both people and wealth have been wasted in vain. All of this is my deserved punishment. Do you know that my husband has been cheating on me repeatedly? Is it a kind of experience like that? I thought that forgiveness meant kindness and generosity. until I held it in my arms for 3 months. The daughter of the couple stepped out of the Civil Affairs Bureau. I just understand now. Betrayal is something that happens quite often. There is no last time. Only the next time. My name is Su-wei. 32 years old this year. It has been exactly 3 months since we divorced. You might not believe it if I say it out loud. My ex-husband's wife still does that last month. She cried and begged me to go back and get back together with her. It is said that he has lost 20 pounds. Drinking every day. After hearing that, I replied immediately, "Auntie, his drinking has nothing to do with me. I'm not allergic to it at all." Hung up the phone. I sit on the bed in the rental house. Suddenly remembered myself from 5 years ago. I was such a fool back then. I met 𝓮𝓻 at a blind date. I was 27 years old that year. In our small county, we're considered to be older women with few choices. My mother keeps reminding me about this for 3 days straight every time. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I went to see them. 𝓮𝓻 looks pretty good. 1 m 78 cm. Clean and pure. Wearing a suit makes one look more energetic. First meeting. He invited me to eat hot pot. I ordered a whole table full of dishes. I thought to myself at that time, this person is quite generous. While eating, he is really good at talking. It seems like I look like some famous celebrity. It seems like my smile looks pretty good when I laugh. It's said that my personality is quite attractive. I admit that I really enjoy this setup. It took 8 months to talk about it. He knelt down below my house wearing a gold ring. I nodded in response to my emotions. There were 30 tables at the wedding ceremony. He held my hand and said that he would be good to me for a lifetime. I cried loudly and wildly. At that moment, I really felt that my life is now complete. But this success didn't even last for a whole year. The 9th month of marriage. One day he said he needed to work overtime. I didn't return until early morning. There's a smell of alcohol on the body. There's also a scent of perfume in the air. The afternoon of the next day. His phone is left on the bed. I saw a notification on the screen. "Thank you for bringing me home last night." You don't notice, right? Your wife doesn't realize anything. I untied his password with shaking hands. Scroll to the pinned chat messages. The whole screen is filled with thoughts of you. "I hope to see you tonight," sitting by the bed. Tears kept flowing uncontrollably. It's like someone has stabbed their heart with a knife. Did something to mess things up a little bit? When he came back, he saw that I was holding a mobile phone with me. It took a second for him to process what was happening. Then I immediately felt aggrieved again. It's not right to say that I've checked his phone. Saying those words is just like joking with colleagues. I think your wife doesn't notice, right? What does it mean? He suddenly became very popular. The sound was extremely loud. Do you really need to do this? I work overtime every day in order to earn money and support my family. I just teased my colleague about that. What are you doing by making trouble with me here? And finally, they left behind just one sentence. If you don't believe me, then we really can't go on like this anymore. A quarrel started when my mom called me. I don't know who leaked the information to others. She persuaded me over the phone. After all, men are human beings. It's inevitable to have social interactions outside of home. He really didn't do anything strange, right? Didn't your father do the same when he was younger? Am I not also living a good life right now? You are now divorced. How should people perceive you? I hung up the phone, cried all night long. The next day, 𝓮𝓻 bought a bouquet of flowers. I said that it won't happen again, ever again. I saw his sincere expression. I think about what my mother said too. I said it already. It's okay. Thinking about it now, that forgiveness was actually a mine that was laid for oneself. It's been quite quiet for most of the time now. The spring of the 2nd year, I am pregnant. 𝓮�� is very happy. I thought that life would finally become stable. At 7 months into the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, one night he came back, took a shower, and then went to sleep. I can't sleep, so I went to get some water. I saw that the phone in his coat pocket lit up. I hesitated for a long time. I'll take a look at it again. He indeed broke up with that little girl, 𝓕𝓸𝓻𝓰𝓲𝓿. But then another person named Lily was added. I spent more time talking than before. I have clicked to play a segment of the audio. A very sweet girl said, "When will you come to see me again?" The bed in that hotel last time was too hard. I was holding the mobile phone in my hand. The baby in my belly kicked me lightly. It seems like they're asking me what's wrong with me. I sat on the sofa in the living room and reviewed all the records. I found out about those nights when he worked extra hours to accompany the leaders. They're all having sex with this Lily. I showed him my phone the next morning. He just glanced at it and then it exploded. "You fucking stole my phone again. Is Su-Wei really sick?" I said, "You're trying to trick me into meeting with clients." As a result, I ended up sleeping with someone else. He pointed at me and said, "Do you know how much pressure I'm under? I just want to find someone to chat with. Relax a little bit." I'm flipping through the sheets on the sofa. I said that chatting can lead us to the hotel. He said that he drank too much and decided to rest in one of the rooms. I didn't do anything at all. And then he said this sentence. "You know that you're pregnant, yet you still look at my phone. If you continue to act like a child, you might end up with some problems. Can you bear this responsibility? You see, it's all my fault again." I called my mother, crying. My mother said, "You're already 7 months pregnant. What are you doing now? What should I do if I go into labor prematurely? You can't just endure for once, can't you? It will be fine once the child is born." I said, "Mom, he slept with someone else." After a while of silence, my mother said, "After all, no man is free from the temptation of sex. Don't make things worse than they are. In the future, you won't be able to behave properly at their home." My mother-in-law also came to offer advice. "Shu-chan is still too young and doesn't understand things yet. I'll wait until the child is born then. It's like hitting a pillow with a fist. All the energy has been released. During that period, I even used the internet. What should I do if my husband is having an affair?" I see many comments below saying that it's better to endure for the sake of the children. I really convinced myself once again. Our daughter 𝓵𝓻𝓰 was born. In the first 3 months, 𝓵𝓻𝓰 performed quite well. Before and after running, my mom said, "You check it out. Men become different once they become fathers. But it's different now. It's been less than 3 months. The night when the dumplings were made 3 months ago, I finished feeding the baby and now I'm using my tablet to watch a movie. It seems that his WeChat account hasn't been deactivated yet. In the chat records with a person named Zhao Lu, it's all about large-scale photos and videos. Plan to go to Sanya together. Every time I go to Dali, it's always because of work-related trips. The 3 months since 𝓵𝓻𝓰 was born, he hasn't been home for half a month. It turns out they were all outside. I didn't cry this time. The eyes feel very dry. I just held onto that little ball and stared at her delicate, pink-faced face. Suddenly, I felt a great sense of guilt towards her. How can I give my daughter such a father? When 𝓵𝓻𝓰 returned, he saw the tablet lying on the table. The expression was particularly calm. I was even a little impatient. "I asked you to explain these photos to me." He looked at me and said, "If you can't accept it, then you just leave, right? Child, if you want it, take it with you. Anyway, I don't have time to bring anything along with me." In that moment, all the hesitations in my heart, all those voices that endure for the sake of the children, everything is gone, because what he said is that you should leave. He doesn't care at all whether I leave or not. I went back to my parents' home, holding the little ball in my arms. My mother didn't try to persuade me to be patient this time. But she said another sentence. What if you get divorced? Where should I put my face? Relatives and friends asked about me. How can I say that my daughter married a jerk? I stayed at my mother's house for 3 days. He keeps talking about the disadvantages of divorce every day. It's so pitiful when a child doesn't have a father at all. It's really difficult to take care of a child by yourself, isn't it? At the end, she started crying. It seems like she simply doesn't want to see how things don't go well for me. I know she does this for my own good. But her intentions are for my own good. I have to endure this for once. On the 4th day, 𝓮 arrived. It's the same old routine again. First, make some excuses and say it's all a misunderstanding. I was accused of disrespecting his phone by looking at it. In the end, he tried to make a desperate appeal, saying that he would change under pressure. My mom was nodding at me from behind the scenes. It means that it's almost the same. I watched him. Suddenly, it feels like a completely unfamiliar place. I said that you also said that it would never happen again last time. He said that it really won't happen this time. So, everything you said before was false, right? He was stunned for a moment. They actually laughed. 𝓱𝓬𝓬𝓷𝓮𝓼, please don't get involved in unnecessary complications. Please don't get involved in unnecessary complications. He found 3 women outside. Deceived 3 times. Tell me to stop being overly sensitive, irritable. I looked down at the little bundle in my arms. I wonder if he will grow up someday. Meeting such a man, what will I say to him? Will it be the same as what my mother tried to persuade me to do? I advised him to be patient for a while. I suddenly knew the answer. I raised my head and said, I want to get a divorce. Everyone fell into silence. 𝓮 face looked very ugly. Stand up and speak. Is 𝓱𝓬𝓬 really sick? What can you do after getting divorced? You don't even have a job? I said that I can find a job to work. Children, I can take care of them. But I can't go on like this for a single second anymore. It took a month to complete the divorce procedures. He even fought with me over the custody of the dumplings. And then I no longer needed it anymore. They also said that they wouldn't pay a single cent as alimony. I remember the day after I signed the contract. I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, holding the bun in my arms. The sky was extremely blue. The sunshine is really nice. The dumpling fell asleep in my arms. My little mouth moved back and forth. I cried. But it's not because I'm sad. It's because I finally feel like I'm alive again. In the past, I always thought that getting divorced was something terrible that would happen at any moment. It's only when you leave that you realize the sky isn't falling. The sun rises as usual. The dumplings will still laugh. I can still live well. 5 years, 3 betrayals. 3 times forgiven. Looking back now, what I regret the most isn't marrying him. It's whenever he says that I'm wrong. I believed it too. I thought that forgiveness meant kindness and generosity. It's the kind of tolerance that should be present in a marriage. I didn't understand until later. Being tolerant of someone who isn't worth it at all. It means being cruel to oneself. I'm currently renting a small house with 𝓱𝓭𝓬𝓻𝓰. Found a job. The salary isn't very high, but it's enough for both of us to live comfortably. I take her to the tutoring class every day, bringing them back in the evening. The days are extremely tight, pressing, but I feel relieved in my heart. From time to time, I still think about those things in the middle of the night. But I no longer hate it anymore. It just seems a pity. It's a pity that I once believed in that person with such seriousness. It's a pity that it took me 5 years to learn how to say no. But it doesn't matter. It's still possible to catch up in time. You deserve to be treated well. It wasn't just a case of being sent around randomly. Don't wait until your heart is broken before you leave. The only person who can save you is yourself. And you will always have the courage to start over again.